Hello everyone, welcome back to Tech Booth. Today, 10 beginner level Premiere Pro editing shortcuts. As you develop in your editing skills, you find that you build up an arsenal of editing shortcuts that you use in your workflow to make things faster. Most editors will end up working on a limited range of projects. So they might specialize in music videos or editing documentaries or editing promos. And so the workflow determines the type of editing shortcuts that you end up using the most often. The danger with that is you end up with also a limited range of shortcuts to use. So you need to be looking at other editors to see what they do and learn more things outside of your range of editing skills to continue to grow. Today I'm going to show you some of my most used editing shortcuts in the kind of work that I do. When you create your project, there's nothing in the project, you have to import media. So the first tip I'm going to give you is that there are 3 ways in which you can import media into your project. The first way is to just go to this empty space here and you double click. It opens up Explorer, or you'll find a window in Mac, and then you can choose the file that you want to import and you just import it into there. The second way you can do it is the traditional way of just going up here, File, Import, and again it opens up your Explorer window. You choose the file you want to import and you import it. And the third way you can import your media is just by opening your Explorer while Premiere Pro is open, and then you go to wherever you have your media. So I'm going to import this media here, and you can actually drag a whole folder or a single file and drop it into there. And some of these files in here are not compatible, so it will just give you an error message, file format not supported. That's fine, we don't need those files anyway, so I just go OK, and boom, all the files that I need are now in my panel here. So that's tip number 1. The next thing we want to do is to create a sequence. You create your sequence right here, and this is where you're going to be doing your editing, and there are a number of ways to do that. The first way is to go up here to File, New, and then you go to New Sequence. Once you do that, you are presented with a dialog box with all the options that you can choose from in terms of sequence settings, and somewhere where you can name your sequence right there. And this can be overwhelming for beginner editors trying to figure out which of these settings works for your project. So let's cancel out of that. An easier way of doing it is to go to the bin where your media is, and let's say I get one of these clips, and this is the sequence settings that I want to use, sequence settings that match what I shot. So instead of going up to File and create a new sequence, all I do is drag my footage onto this create new item icon at the bottom here next to the bin, and voila, you get a new sequence, and this sequence has all the settings of the footage that you shot and they match exactly. Okay, and once you've created a sequence, if you're going to be using that clip, you can keep it in there. But one thing you notice is it gives the sequence the name of the clip that you used to create it, so it doesn't give a proper name. So what I need to do is to go back in here where the sequence was created, click on it so that it's highlighted like that, and then you can change the name to what you want it to be. So I have test project right here, and you can see at the top it now says test project. If I don't need this for now, I can just delete it. That's creating a sequence using a clip from your bin. Let's say I want to start editing now, so I choose an in point and an out point. I can drag it onto here, just like that, and there's my clip. Okay, so now let's say I want to edit something else in here. This clip, just choose an in point, an out point. I can drag it onto there, and one thing you notice is the settings for this clip and this are different, so it doesn't fill the whole screen. When you have mismatched sizes or resolutions in your timeline, you can, let's do this on this clip, you can right click on your clip, and then you have these two options: scale to frame size or set to frame size. These two do the same thing, but in slightly different ways. When I do scale to frame size, the clip fills the whole frame. So now I have a clip that's the right size. If I undo this and then right click, go back and do the same and say set to frame size, same thing. The difference between these two is that when you, let me undo this, and let's go up here to effects controls, and I want us to look at this property here, the scale part. If I do scale, if I go here and I scale to frame size, this enlarges the clip, but you notice the scale remains at 100. The scale remains at 100. That's because it is actually resampling the clip and then resizing it. It's resampling the pixels and then resizing it. So in a way, it's creating new pixels from this clip. So let's undo that and do the other option, which is set to frame size. If I do set to frame size, you notice the scale has changed. So with set to frame size, it's not creating new pixels, it's just enlarging. It's just the same as scaling the image up using the pixels that are already there. Another shortcut that I use a lot is selecting a clip. Let me just go over this one clip here. Let's say I wanted to create an in and out point for this clip. I can use my up and down arrows. So if I go up arrow, it goes to the next edit, and then I go in, down arrow moves it to the following edit, and I can put out. And then Alt X clears the in and out together. But a quicker way of selecting this clip or creating in and out points for this clip is just using the /, and it immediately creates an in and out point. Why would I want to do this? Say I wanted to replace this clip with something else without changing anything else on the timeline. Then I click on that, and then I go and find the clip that I want to use. Say let's look at something that's a bit different. Okay, like this one. Say I wanted it from this point. I can create an in point, and then I can overwrite this clip using either the period or this icon here. So I can just go like this, and that clip is replaced. An exact length of that clip is replaced. So that's a quick way of selecting in and out. One with the clip selected, you hit the / and it creates your in and out point. One thing you do a lot in editing is use modifier keys, so things like Shift, Control, Alt, depending on whether you're on Mac or on PC, but those modify your keys so that they do certain things. What do I mean by that? So remember, we just replaced the clip that was here with this one, so let me undo that and get that clip that was there back and show you a different way of replacing this clip. All you do is hold down the Alt key if you're on the Mac, and then you drag your clip onto this clip, and you'll see there's a plus sign once the arrow is over the clip. When you let go, you can see the clip has been replaced by the one that you dragged. Now, the thing about Alt dragging onto a clip is what happens when you Alt and you drag your clip onto another clip is that whatever changes you've made, like scaling or color or anything that you've done, when you drag and you drop with the Alt depressed, the new clip will also take on the same attributes. So let's do something to demonstrate, and let's say I go up to effects, I go down to effects here, make this black and white. When I Alt drag a new clip onto this one, the new clip will also be black and white. It will take on all the attributes that were on the clip that it replaced. So that's a cool use of Alt dragging and replacing a clip. The other use for Alt drag is to copy a clip. So if I Alt and I drag this clip to this side, I get a duplicate of that clip. Another operation that I use a lot is reveal a clip in the project window. So when you have a very complicated project and you have a lot of footage in your project window right here in the bins, and sometimes you want to look for the source of the file or the clip that you're using as you're editing, it can be really hard to scroll and look for that clip right here. So a quick way of finding a clip that's in here that you are editing in your source bin right here is to just click on the clip, right click like this, and then you have this reveal in project and reveal in finder. Both I find are really useful. So when I go reveal in project, it takes me to this window and it shows you my source media. And you saw also there is reveal in finder. When I click that, it opens finder and it actually shows you the location of the project in the finder or explorer window. And that can be really useful when you have a very complicated project and you want to look for certain media quickly. With this project, I had 2 camera angles. Premiere Pro allows you to sync the audio of those clips in a very easy way. So let's edit this on the track above. So I have the next clip, camera 2 here, of the same performance. So I put them on top of each other. As you can see, the second camera is in HD while the first camera was in 4K, and that was a mistake. So like before, I'll just go up to here and for now just scale to frame size and bam, you're good. Now besides these 2 clips, I also had audio of the same performance. So that's the audio. I can edit it in right there, but none of this is in sync. It's all messed up. So in Premiere Pro you can select the clips. You can go up to here on clip and then go to synchronize, and then you can choose how you want to synchronize it. In this case we want the program to compare the audio and sync the audio, and then you just go OK, and it's going to look at the audio and sync that up. Takes a bit of time, but once it's done, everything is aligned and everything is now in sync. Another shortcut that I like in Premiere Pro and I use a lot is copying attributes from one clip to another clip. So let's go back here and show you what I mean. So if I have this clip and let's say I change the volume, so I'm going to change the volume here to 15. Let's say I go up here and I change the scale. I'm going to make it 50. Yeah, let's make that 50%. And what else can we do? I change the rotation and make it 33 degrees that way. What else can we do? We go into here and we make it black and white. If I wanted to do the same thing to the next clip, the easiest way is to just right click, you copy, right click, and instead of paste, you say paste attributes. So when I go paste attributes, I'm presented with this dialog box and it tells me what attributes do I want to change. So I changed the motion attributes, remember the scaling, so I'll say I want that changed. I have effects there, I want those changed. I have a volume there, I want that changed. So you can click everything that you want to change or that you want to copy into the new clip, and then you go OK, and voila. In one click you've copied everything that you've done to this clip onto this clip. Another function that I use a lot when I'm editing is creating markers. Now let's say you are editing and I have this clip here, but I think I need to come back to this and change some things at some point. What I can do is on the keyboard I just press M, and I don't know if it's visible, but on the clip there's a green marker that has been created. Now you can create the marker on the clip, which means when I move this, the marker moves with the clip. Okay, but if I don't have anything selected, I don't have any clip selected, and I hit M, the marker is created on the sequence. So when I move the clip, the marker remains. So if you want to mark a place on the sequence, then make sure nothing is selected before you press M. But if you want to mark a certain clip, then you make sure the clip is selected, like this one, and then you press M, and that marker is created on the clip itself. And the marker moves with the clip if you move the clip. So the cool thing is with markers is you can then go onto the marker and select it, and then when you double click you have this dialog box that opens up. You can actually name the marker and say change color. So when I have lots of these markers, I can click on them to see what I needed to do, what I needed to be reminded of, and you see the information right there, and you can change the color of the markers to what these options that are given here. The other use for markers, I also do some music videos sometimes. So one of the things you can do with these markers is with nothing selected, if you wanted to edit in sync with the music, Then you just play your sequence, and wherever you can tap on the M key in sequence with the beats of the music. Whatever that was, and then when you check those markers, they are in line with the beat of the music, and you can edit according to the beat in the music. And the last operation or shortcut that I would like to show you is maybe it's not really a shortcut in a sense, but also a shortcut in the sense that it can make your work really quick. And these are MOGRT files. I don't know how to pronounce that, but MORG, they are basically graphics files for Premiere Pro. When you go to Essential Graphics, and you go browse, you'll find some templates that come with your program. And you can see this is a basic lower third, basic title, broadcast caption. I can do quite a lot of really cool stuff very quickly without the use of After Effects right in Premiere Pro, by just having or just investing in some of these files. Some of them are look really nice. And there you are, 10 of my most used editing shortcuts in Premiere Pro. Make sure you check out other editors and learn from them, and build your arsenal of editing shortcuts that make your workflow much faster. See you next time on Tech Booth.